Welcome back to Motherhood Unscripted, and today I'm so excited to be talking about this specific episode because it touches on every mother, and I know that you who will be watching, you who will be listening, will be able to relate, and that is the rigged system. So stay tuned, and as we dive deep into this topic, and I hope you'll be able to get a few takeaways from this. Welcome. Topic of today is why is it's not your fault. Why it's not your fault. And this is why. It's because the system has been rigged. And it's really important for us as moms to understand that sometimes we think that we can have it all, but the system has not really been set up for us to be able to do all of the things that is expected of us, and hence the name, the rigged system. For example, if you, as mothers, we can say, when the system is not set up for mothers as it's supposed to, we end up doing the work ourselves. And this topic, that's why I wanted to share with you, is because as moms, we usually tell ourselves, if I try harder, or if I can wake up earlier, or if I can show up more, maybe I can be able to be better, or the outcome will be better. But that is not how the system is set. The system is rigged because we are working in a world that we have so many expectations of us as mothers, as women, and we are expected to show up for ourselves in a huge way. Do you know that pressure of having it all, of doing it all? What if I told you that it is not you who is the problem? It is the system that is broken. So most of us, we are showing up extra hard. We are showing up so much, burning ourselves out, and we are expected to show up in a world that is not meant to support mothers. So maybe I can define a little bit of what is the rigged system. The rigged system is a set of unrealistic expectations that has been set on mothers in a world that doesn't support them. And as one of my good mentors, Amy Taylor Kabaz, talks about how motherhood transforms us physically, emotionally, financially, economically, spiritually, and yet we are expected to show up as if nothing has changed. So you can see how we are living in the world where, as mothers, we are expected to show up in a world that isn't really meant to support us. And for example, maybe you are a working mom and you are expected to go back to work. Some of us go back to work, for example, at 3 months postpartum, and back home now you have this child, you have this you are changing. Another one of my greatest mentors talks about the perfect motherhood myth, and her name is Dr. Sophie Brock, and she explained how as mothers we are expected to keep the house clean, bounce back from our pre-baby weight. We are expected to be happy all the time. We are expected to have a lot of patience. We are expected to, just move on in life, even after becoming a mother, as if nothing has changed. But as we dive deep into this conversation, you'll get to realize that the system has been rigged because those are unrealistic expectations on mothers, and that is what leads us to burnout. It leads us to have a lot of anger issues. It leads us to have a lot of resentment, even for some women, because we have so much expectations on top of motherhood that really we cannot even be able to achieve them. So what does this rigged system impact us as mothers? And one thing I can say, it can lead us to burnout. It can lead us to blaming ourselves. It can lead us to guilt, because once you get to not meet all those expectations, you end up blaming myself. Like I wrote the other day in my journal, I was checking my journal from a few years back, and I used to write and tell myself, if I tried a bit harder, if I woke up a bit harder, maybe I'll be able to get things done. But some of these things, I came to realize that it was not me who was the problem, it was the system. So that is how the rigged system impacts us as mothers. So the rigged system is usually invisible and silent. And most of us really don't realize what we are going through because you cannot see it. And if you cannot really see what you're going through or name what you're going through, it is really difficult for us to come up with a solution, for us to come up to a conclusion that you are going through something or you need help. So the rigged system often is usually silent and invisible. And I also want to share about how some of this has been passed down from generation to generation, because for me personally, even when I was growing up, I never used to see mothers complain about their journey. I've never really seen anyone say, okay, this is hard, I need help. And some of the things we internalize usually are part of what contributes to motherhood being difficult, because they have been passed down from generation to generation. So some of these things have been passed down from generation to generation, and they usually show up as invisible loads that we carry. For example, remembering when your child is opening school, remembering their doctor's appointments, remembering when was the last time you took them to the salon or the barber shop. So some of these things we usually carry subconsciously without knowing, and they pass on as invisible because they're not really seen. So as mothers, we usually carry a lot, and societies expect us to act in a way that is normal. Yes, you're supposed to go back even to work like nothing happened. You have to just carry on with your life as if nothing happened. Let's not forget even how the invisible load can be even heavier in single mothers, even in race, for example, even for those economically challenged, because they vary the loads that we carry. So if you're a working mom, for example, you carry a heavier load. If you're a single mom, for example, you have no support, that load tends to be heavy. Or even if you're economically challenged, it also contributes to the load that you carry. So what can we do once we have this knowledge that the system is rigged as mothers? First of all, I say awareness is the most important key to a revolution. Once you are aware of what is going on in your journey, in your experience, you are able to act upon that. And we start by taking our power back. We start by asking for help, speaking up. We start by creating a village if you don't have one. You start by having vulnerable conversations with your partner, with your family, with your friends, and asking for help, because that is one thing that can really impact us as women and as mothers in our journey. So that is where we start. Just like any other rite of passage, when you become a mother, you go through a rite of passage. And just like any other rite of passage, we need support, we need a community, we need to be heard, to be seen, to be validated. And that is really important for us as mothers, to have that support system, that community, because we go through a rite of passage which changes everything that we experience in our journey. So that is where we start. And as my beautiful mentor Amy usually says, motherhood is not something that when you experience, you want to fix it. It's something that you have to understand. Why am I going through this? What can I do in order for me to change? What support can I get, or can I seek from the people around me in order for me to thrive? So before I knew about all the rig system, I used to think that I was alone. I used to think that I was the one who was failing. And that really impacted my mental health in a really big way, because I used to blame myself all the time and wondering, why can't I be like this person? You know, right now, even with the age of social media, you compare yourself with these moms. You think, oh, she just gave birth the other day, she bounced back immediately, she's thriving. And you know, they say comparison is the thief of joy. And I used to really compare myself back then, because I would see I was the one who was failing. I was the one who was going through it alone. So if you're there and you're listening to this, know that you're not alone. Know that whatever you're going through, it's not your fault. We are mothering in a system that does not favor mothers. We are mothering in a system that does not support mothers. We are mothering in a system that does not see the work that we do as important work. So I want you to understand that, and I just want to speak to you, mom to mom. Just know that you're not alone. Know that it's not your fault. Know that it's not only you who's failing. And even if you see other people on social media who are thriving, trust you me, it's not what you seem. Because even on social media, people will show you what they want you to see. And that is one thing that I've come to learn over the years with my mothering journey. People will only show you what they want you to see. So you won't be able to see the messy house, the messy kitchen, kids throwing tantrums all over the place, crying uncontrollably. You won't see those things online, even on movies, because we have been fed that. But that's why we say it's the rig system, because it's really unrealistic. Let's even share, even on movies we get to see you know, the mother is happy, the mother is taken care of, the house is always clean, her hair is always made, she's showered, her kids are well behaved. But that is how now we start to, you know, demystify that, and to know that that is not the truth. So once you get to understand that, you'll be able to live a more happier life. You'll be able to even not suffer mentally, or even feel like you have to self-sacrifice in order to make people happy. Know that you're not going through this alone. Whatever is fed to us is not what is the truth. What has been fed to us is not usually the truth. So get to understand that, and always know that you're doing a good job. And even as mothers, whenever we think we're not doing a good job, whenever we feel like we are failing, it shows how much we care for our children. Just that you having that thought of, I'm not a good mom, I must be doing something wrong, other people are thriving better than me or are doing better than me. Just that thought, it shows how much you care for your children, for your family. And I hope you have gotten to enjoy this episode. You have gotten to learn a few things. Let's keep unpacking this together and share this episode with a mama near you. Share your thoughts and remember, you are doing better than you think. So thank you for listening to this wonderful episode, and I hope you have really gotten to understand about the rig system. We are going to keep learning together, and see you on the next episode. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.